The Beast of Bray Road. It was a dark and stormy night in Elkhorn, Wisconsin when Sarah was driving home from her shift at the local diner. As she turned onto Bray Road, she noticed something dart across the road in front of her car. At first, she thought it was a deer, but as she got closer, she realized that it was something much more sinister. The creature had the body of a man, but the head of a dog. Its fur was matted and dirty, and its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity. It walked on two legs, like a human, but moved with the grace and speed of a wild animal. As Sarah tried to speed away, the creature pursued her, running alongside her car and barking like a rabid dog. She could hear its claws scratching against the pavement, and the sound sent shivers down her spine. After what felt like an eternity, Sarah finally reached her driveway and ran inside her house, locking the doors behind her. She trembled with fear as she looked out the window, watching as the creature disappeared into the woods. The next morning, Sarah reported the sighting to the local authorities, but they dismissed it as a hoax. However, Sarah knew what she had seen and was convinced that the Beast of Bray Road was real. To this day, there have been multiple sightings of the creature on Bray Road, striking fear into the hearts of all who travel through Elkhorn. So if you ever find yourself driving down that desolate road, keep your eyes peeled and your doors locked, for you never know when the Beast of Bray Road might strike again. Before we go on with the stories, I remind you to subscribe and like the video to support the channel. The Demon Dog of Dover. In the quiet town of Dover, Massachusetts, nestled among the trees, there lurked a dark and terrifying presence. It was the year 1977 when the first reports of a large, black, demonic-looking dog began to circulate among the townspeople. At first, no one paid much attention to the strange sightings, but as more and more people claimed to have seen the creature, a sense of unease began to settle over the town. Some claimed that the demon dog was a harbinger of death, a portent of doom that signaled an impending disaster. Others believed that it was a supernatural entity sent to terrorize the town and its inhabitants. As the days went by, the sightings grew more frequent, and the creature seemed to grow bolder. It would appear suddenly, lurking in the shadows or darting across the road, its glowing eyes fixed on its prey. People began to avoid going out after dark, afraid of what they might encounter. Some even claimed that they could hear the creature's growls and snarls echoing through the night, a terrifying reminder that they were never truly safe. Despite numerous attempts to capture or kill the demon dog, it remained elusive, always slipping away just as it seemed within reach. Some began to wonder if it was truly a physical being, or if it was a manifestation of something far more sinister. To this day, the Demon Dog of Dover remains a chilling mystery, a reminder that there are forces in this world that we cannot comprehend, and that sometimes the darkness can come for us when we least expect it. The Curse of the Crying Dog. It was a dark and stormy night when a group of friends gathered around the campfire, telling stories and enjoying each other's company. Suddenly, they heard a faint, mournful cry in the distance, like a dog howling in the night. At first, they thought nothing of it, chalking it up to some stray animal wandering in the woods. But as the night wore on, the cries grew louder and more desperate, echoing through the trees like a siren song. Unable to ignore the sound any longer, the group set out to investigate. They followed the cries deep into the woods, their flashlights illuminating the way ahead. As they drew closer, the cries grew louder and more piteous until they finally came upon a small clearing. There, huddled in a ball at the base of a tree, was a small, shivering dog. At first, the friends breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that they had simply stumbled upon a lost pet. But as they approached, they realized that something was wrong. The dog was not just shivering from the cold, it was trembling with fear. And then they saw it, the creature that had been stalking the dog all along. It was a monstrous, twisted thing with matted fur and glowing eyes that seemed to pierce the darkness. The friends were frozen in terror as the creature advanced, its sharp teeth gleaming in the flickering light. And then, with a sudden burst of movement, it lunged forward, tearing into the dog with savage ferocity. The friends scattered, running for their lives as the creature pursued them through the woods. They could hear its howls echoing through the trees, a terrifying reminder that there are forces in this world that we can never fully understand. From that day on, they were haunted by the memory of the cursed crying dog and the creature that had brought terror and death to their peaceful night in the woods. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Deep in the heart of the desolate moors of Devonshire, England, there is a legend that has long haunted the locals. The legend legend of the Hound of the Baskervilles. For centuries, the Baskerville family had been plagued by a curse passed down from generation to generation. It was said that a demonic hound would appear on the moors, hunting down and killing any member of the family who dared to venture outside after dark. When the latest heir to the Baskerville fortune arrived at his family's ancestral home, he found himself plunged into a world of terror and suspicion. Strange noises echoed through the halls at night, and the moors seemed to be alive with the sound of howling dogs. Sherlock Holmes was called upon to solve the mystery, and he soon found himself embroiled in a web of deception and danger. The locals whispered of a mysterious figure who prowled the moors at night, a shadowy shape with glowing eyes that seemed to stare into the very soul of anyone who saw it. As the investigation deepened, Holmes began to realize that the Hound of the Baskervilles was no mere legend, but a real and terrifying presence that had already claimed the lives of several members of the family. The tension mounted as the hunt for the Hound intensified, and the Baskerville heir found himself stalked by the creature as he wandered the moors in search of answers. With each passing moment, the fear grew more palpable, and it seemed that there was no escape from the Hound's deadly grasp. In the end, it was only through Holmes' quick thinking and bravery that the mystery was finally solved, and the Hound of the Baskervilles was vanquished once and for all. But the memory of the cursed creature would live on, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurked in the darkness of the moors. The Ghost Dog of Japan. In the dark of night, a traveler walks the deserted roads of Japan, hoping to reach his destination before dawn. But as he walks, he begins to feel a sense of unease, as if something is watching him from the shadows. Suddenly, he hears a soft whimper and turns to see a dog standing at the edge of the road. It is a large, black dog with gleaming eyes that seem to pierce through the darkness. The traveler hesitates, unsure if he should approach the animal, but something about the dog's mournful expression draws him closer, and he reaches out to touch its fur. In that moment, he feels a chill run down his spine, as if he has made a terrible mistake. The dog's eyes begin to glow with an eerie light, and it lets out a low, mournful howl. Realizing too late that he has been tricked, the traveler tries to run, but it is too late. The dog follows him, its ghostly form hovering just behind him as he flees through the night. As the traveler reaches his home, he turns to look back at the dog, only to find that it has vanished into thin air. For weeks afterwards, he is plagued by strange dreams and visions, haunted by the memory of the Okurian that followed him home that fateful night. And then, one day, he simply disappears, leaving behind no trace of his existence. Some say that he was taken by the Okurian, a warning to all who dare to walk the lonely roads of Japan at night. Thanks for tuning into our scary story today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more spooky tales like this one. Until next time, stay safe and keep your lights on at night.